Today, I'm taking Kung Fu Chronicles on the road to get some crucial questions answered by a renowned local Kung Fu instructor. Okay, Kung Fu Chronicles, we are back, this time in the beautiful city of Pasadena to visit Master Kenneth Edwards at Shan Kung Fu. That's his school. He teaches Ying Jiao Pai, the style that I also came up under, specifically Grandmaster Long Shum's Northern Eagle Claw style of Kung Fu. Let's go check it out. All right, I'm here with Master Kenneth Edwards. He is the head instructor at Shan Kung Fu School. Master Edwards, thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. For all that don't know, he is actually my Sifu. I started my Kung Fu career back in 1998. We started right here at Shan Kung Fu. So Sifu, I've got to ask you personally, how long have you been teaching Kung Fu and how did you get your start?
I've been practicing Chinese martial arts now for over 40 years. Kung Fu, I started teaching professionally when I opened my school in 1989 here in the city of Pasadena. And what got me started in martial arts, I actually started martial arts training at age 7. My parents enrolled me into a Taekwondo school, and then from there I studied various styles from Taekwondo to Isshin Karate, Tung Sudo, and then eventually I got into the Chinese martial arts, which was home.
Okay, so you're not originally a Cali guy. What brought you to Pasadena specifically?
A change of pace. I mean, living in the Midwest from Detroit, then living in New York for years. I just got kind of tired of the cold weather and the snow, but also what eventually really brought me out here was acting.
Cool. And for those that may look at Master Edwards and go, that guy looks familiar, it's because he's been in a very famous movie, Mortal Kombat, way back in the day. Tell me a little bit about that experience.
You know, Mortal Kombat, it was an awesome experience when I auditioned for Mortal Kombat because they were looking for all of these actors that, of course, would fit the part, but also actors who actually had a martial arts background. And for me, it was a blessing in disguise because we had a lot of actors who were good actors, but when it came time to demonstrate their martial arts, you could tell that they had turned on the video an hour before, right? And they looked like, oh my God, they're like garbage. Where Pat Johnson, who's artistic director, he had me to demonstrate something. Of course, I just popped off a couple of front handsprings, back handsprings, and just splits, and it was a wrap. Nice. The rest of the actors had that depressed look, and
nice.
I was in Mortal Kombat.
There you go. All right, so speaking of that movie, it's kind of become like a little bit of a cult classic over the years. A lot of people really like go back to that movie. It's like that movie that they love. You had like people with like Robin Shaw in there, like even Christopher Lambert from the Highlander. Anything that you could share that maybe people don't really know, like a little tidbit or any kind of moment that people can't just Google about that movie, something you remember in particular?
Just when I read the script and saw that my character was going to die, I know there's no sequel.
That's true. You were the guy that ended up fighting Goro, right?
Goro, yes.
Like the forearm mother.
So that's all that mattered. I'm not in the sequel, so
it don't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I hear you on that. Did you work with like Christopher Lambert? They got
you know, to be honest, I spoke to him on the set. I spoke to Robert. It's been so long, I don't know who I worked with.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
I really don't know who I worked with. I'm gonna have to watch the movie again.
All good. Now, Sifu, go ahead and give the information for anyone else that would love to train here or get their start here.
Absolutely. If you're living in the Pasadena area, the Los Angeles area, and you're interested in learning traditional Ying Jiao Pai translated as the Northern Eagle Claw system, and there are various families of the Northern Eagle Claw system. The Northern Eagle Claw system family that I belong to is Grandmaster Shan, who's the most famous Sifu in the Northern Eagle Claw system out of New York City.
And then everybody want to learn Kung Fu.
Contact us on our website, www.kungfuquestions.com, or you can give us a call here at the school, 626-577-0525, and we'll take care of it.
Awesome. So we're ready to start my new segment. It's called 5 Crucial Questions for Kung Fu Masters. Sifu, you ready to do it?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go.
My particular experience teaching Chinese martial arts as a black business owner, I think one of the roadblocks that I had to overcome is that a lot of times when people would come inside my school, if you're teaching traditional Chinese martial arts, they expect to see an Asian instructor. And then of course, if you look at me, I'm not Asian.
Say what? Say what?
Sometimes in the earlier days, I would have people, as soon as they saw that I was an African American or a black instructor, they would just walk out of the school and say, oh, we're just looking around. But what I found was I had to constantly promote and promote and promote and get them on the floor. So what I started doing was, at that time, I would offer them, so hey, you're here already, why don't you try a free class? And once they saw what I could do, then it started to change their mindset. So with that being said, I took that task at hand. I made sure that I was in the best shape possible. I made sure that I practiced. So when I told them that I was going to get them in shape, I could demonstrate. So I could talk the talk and walk the walk. I think that the biggest challenge that I had, and I'm still having as an African-American instructor, my own people. That's the sad part. I mean, when you come to my school, I have a universal. I have students that are white, Asian, Hispanic, but very few blacks. Most of the blacks that walk through my door, even to this day, and we're talking about July 2020, blacks walk in my school, as soon as they see me, they automatically, one, don't think you are qualified, and two, they want the hookup.
You got any soda?
$1.
Oh, come on now. Look out for a brother, man. Come on. Hey, check this out. Why don't you let me get a sip for 15 cents?
You tell them the price that everyone's going to pay, and they look at you and say, okay, I understand, but can you give me a hookup?
What are the ribs?
No. 1 rib.
1 rib.
I sure am hungry.
And those are the same type of students, parents that I've seen, because there's a martial arts school 5 blocks down the street on the same side of me. They have looked me directly in the eyes and said that my prices were too high for their family.
My cups cost more than 15 cents.
All right, fuck the cup. Pour it in my hand for a dime.
But I'll see them a few weeks later, they enroll down the street, which they paid almost 2 times what they're paying.
You got change for 100?
As a black, instructing as a black man, it hurts, especially when you look at our own people, when we walk in and automatically make judges, being totally professional. And that's what I try to do. Make sure that my organization skills in terms of teaching the Northern Eagle Claw system is attainable. The reason why is simple. You have a lot of very traditional Chinese martial arts instructors who are still trying to teach fighting techniques and applications as though they're back in the 1800s on horseback. They're doing all of this flowery stuff that doesn't work. I'm from Detroit. You try to do that flowery stuff, you're gonna get hit in the face, you can get knocked out, you can get stomped down. That's how. The reason a lot of the younger kids, the 17, 20-year-old, the reason they're attracted to Muay Thai and Krav Maga and the rest of them, it makes sense. Most of them have had fights. So they sit there and go, okay, this person reaches at you, you block, you shoot an elbow, a cross elbow, you slam a knee into the rib cage, it works. So you have all these traditional Kung Fu instructors, and I've even had some to badmouth me because I will do a very beautiful Eagle Claw, Northern Eagle Claw set, which is very flamboyant, the jump kicks and all that, and my students will do them, and you're like, wow. However, when I teach self-defense, when I take the traditional Eagle Claw system and strip it to a bare essence, I have a lot of traditional Kung Fu instructors say, oh, Matt says you're just teaching street fighting. All you're doing is elbow deep. And what they don't realize is that when you see Muay Thai, it's found in the traditional Kung Fu system, the elbows, and it's found there. Except they strip it down to the bare essence, simplicity. First self-defense technique I teach my students, apologize. But when that fails, the rule of thumb, at least coming from Detroit, he who hits first usually wins.
I'm from Detroit.
There's a lot of traditional Kung Fu instructors, they're teaching stuff and you have to question if they've actually had a real fight. You have to get to the basic core. You have to look at Eagle Claw, for instance. We're known for the claw, the catch. But when you think about it, catch, pull, and just stump the knee. It's a done deal. If you're in a street fight, someone grab your arm and take it and do a hidden knee kick and stump your knee, the fight's over. But if you're trying to do a split and run up and do backhand springs, you're going to get a chance to run and ride in that paramedic truck. And when they're saying we're losing you and they're pumping your chest. So,
I know Kung Fu.
Show me.
First of all, I believe in really getting them into the best shape possible. So what we do a lot of cardio, where we're constantly working the core, the legs, and then at the same time, I'll teach them the traditional Northern Eagle Claw hand forms, but then I strip it down where we do drills, moving drills. And then at the end of the day, after we do the moving drills, attack and defend, you gotta glove up. You can sit there all day long and talk about how great your clawing is and all of that, but guess what? I've seen a lot of people talk that talk, but once you put on the gloves, the foot pads, the mouthpiece, and the cup, and get on the floor, then you're gonna really realize if you can make it work. Because what happens, a lot of times you get caught up into too much one person attack, it's stylized when you're doing this. Of course, everyone looks good. The key to how I teach my students, we work the forms, we work the applications, we work the chin out or the locks. But at the end of the day, you have to fight realistically. You have to put on the body armor, the gloves, the mouthpiece, and get on the training floor. I truly believe that they are very important to students and should be taught, because when you look at the traditional forms, they are like the encyclopedia of the knowledge that has been passed down for centuries, generations upon generations. However, again, you have this wealth of information, but you have to be like, think of it as an instructor, you have to think of yourself as a chef. A chef may have a cookbook, but what do? They experiment. They take this recipe.
Interesting.
See, I told you they don't stink when you pull the membrane out.
The same thing with forms. You have to be able to extract them. You have to say to yourself, okay, today's class, we're gonna work on how do you defend against a person just popping out a left jab. How do you parry the left jab? And from there, a simple technique. I'm a firm believer that when you're working with your students on self-defense application, you need to, in a class, no more than 2 or 3 applications in a class. That's all. Repetition, but you're constantly switching, rotating. So this way, if you're only 5'7", you rotate, now you're with someone who's 6'2". What happens now, you have to learn how to make that adjustment because of your height or weight, that type of thing. It's definitely, the forms are definitely important, but at the end, you still have to be able to extract those techniques out and make them practical where they fit for 2020. I suggest, first of all, that you really think it through. Don't jump into this like overnight. Oh, I want to really give it some thought, because let me explain something to you. Once you invest your money and sign a lease and you decide to teach martial arts as a living, it's 24 hours, 7 days a week. You're never off work. You will be at home, and if you're smart, your mind is running. Your mind is running sort of. With me, even at home, I have little pads by my telephone, because when I get an idea, I write it down, because you're going to be constantly working, evolving. And the most important thing I would suggest is to surround yourself, network with other colleagues that have professional schools. Don't waste your time with the other ones who, I'm not putting anyone down, that's teaching in a park, because a lot of times they get caught up in, oh, it's about the art, and you shouldn't teach. Shit. Let me explain something to you. The day you sign a lease, this is how you eat. Don't ever give anything away for free.
If you're good at something, never do it for free.
I've been doing this for 40 years. If you were an electrician, a plumber, are you going to dig someone's yard up to look at their piping system for free? No. So my advice to you, surround yourself with positive people who have your back. You definitely need that positive reinforcement, because there are going to be days where you're going to have months where you're going to have students joining left and right, and then you're going to have other months where it's going to be slow. That's the nature of the beast in any business. Network with people who also have martial arts school. When I mean network, don't just network with just kung fu people. All people. My colleagues, my good friends, when I say friends, my brothers, martial arts brothers, they teach Taekwondo for a living. They teach Hapkido. They teach Jiu-Jitsu. Because at the end of the day, martial arts is martial arts. And word to all of the instructors, do not say you're going to get a student in shape when you have a gut. You have to practice what you preach.
Am I right or am I right or am I right? Right.
And never, ever, as a professional instructor, teach standing on the sidelines with your arms folded. You should be on that training floor. People will follow you. It's just like a drill instructor. If you're out there leading the troops, guess what? They will follow you. Teaching martial arts for a living, to me, is the most rewarding job I've ever had. Mainly because there's nothing more rewarding as a professional instructor to see a student who joined your school 8 months ago that he or she wouldn't even make eye contact. They're constantly looking at the floor. And then 8 months later, they're looking at you going, yes, Sifu. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, when you come in my school, it's military structure. Running your martial arts school, you have to be professional. And at the end of the day, if you say on your sign that you open the doors at 9 o'clock a.m., don't stroll in at 11 o'clock a.m. Be professional and be disciplined and spread your knowledge.
So there you have it, my 5 crucial questions for Kung Fu masters.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hopefully you guys got a little insight and info from an actual Kung Fu instructor and how some things go on that day-to-day routine. Keep checking for the next time we do this with yet another renowned Kung Fu master. And don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe while you're at it so you can help the channel grow. And let me know the kind of stuff you'd like to see in future videos. Thanks again to Master Edwards for being part of this video.
This is Master Kenneth Edwards here at Shan Kung Fu, and I would like to thank you and everyone for watching Kung Fu Chronicles.
See you in the next round, and keep punching.